Hi everyone, we're back for part 2 of our PowerPoint presentation. So I just gone over reading the paragraph, picking the topic, and then picking that sentence that's your stated main idea. So let's look at an example. Franklin Roosevelt is considered one of the greatest U.S. presidents of the 20th century. What or who are we talking about? Franklin Roosevelt. And what is the most important point the author wants us to know about Franklin Roosevelt? He is considered one of the greatest U.S. presidents of the 20th century. But let's take a look at this example. It's a little bit different. The sentence says, he is considered one of the greatest athletes of the 20th century. If we're trying to pick out the topic, do we really know from the sentence who we are talking about? No, we don't. Because instead of giving the person's name, the author just used a pronoun he. So that's something to remember. Authors, instead of putting the person's name over and over and over again in a paragraph, they're going to use pronouns like he, she, it, they, we, you. Okay? And when they do that, it means that they have not named the complete topic. Okay? So this sentence wouldn't work because we don't know who he is. Now, if this sentence said Michael Jordan is considered one of the greatest athletes of the 20th century, then that would work. So with the stated main idea, we have to remember it's a general sentence that sums up the details but doesn't include them. So you're going to see if the other sentences in the paragraph explain or tell more about the sentence you have chosen, and they should help explain, illustrate, and prove the main idea. Let's look at the example on page 195 of our textbook. It's in the blue down at the bottom. A cell is the smallest unit of life. Nothing smaller is able to reproduce, respond to stimuli, or remain homeostatic. Nothing smaller is able to grow and develop, take in and use material from the environment, and become adapted to the environment. All right, so ask yourself, who or what are we talking about in this paragraph? We're talking about a cell. Now, we need a sentence that has those words in it, a cell, and there's only one. It's the first one. The other two don't actually include the topic in that sentence, so that's not going to work. The rest of that sentence is the author's stated main idea about the topic. So a cell is the smallest unit of life, and the other two sentences describe it. So which sentence in the paragraph is the stated main idea? Most frequently, you're going to find it to be the first or the last. However, it could honestly be any sentence within the paragraph. So if it's the first sentence in a paragraph, that means it can make the paragraph clearer and easier to understand when it is the first sentence. You can also help identify supporting details more easily that way. Let's take a look at exercise 1 on page 196 of our textbook. All right, here it says, caffeine produces several reactions. One major behavioral effect is an increase in attentiveness. Another major behavioral effect is a decrease in reaction time. Caffeine can also bring about an improvement in mood, most likely by mimicking the effects of a natural brain chemical, adenosine. Too much caffeine, however, can result in nervousness and insomnia. People can build up a biological dependence on the drug. Regular users who suddenly stop drinking coffee may experience headache or depression. Many people who drink large amounts of coffee on weekdays have headaches on weekends because of the sudden drop in the amount of caffeine they are consuming. So here, what's our topic? What or who are we talking about? Caffeine. And here, it's the first sentence in the paragraph. That's our stated main idea. Caffeine produces several reactions, and the rest of that paragraph are what those reactions are. We're going to stop there, and we'll pick up in video number 3 for our continued discussion on the PowerPoint for Chapter 4.